Hi everyone, it's time for another book haul, and this is a doozy of a book haul because I've been holding on to these books for some time and then I keep accumulating them. So today is going to be a big one. Hi. My name's Kelly. Welcome to my channel. If this is your first time, welcome back if you've been before. Lovely to have you either way. On this channel, we talk books. And as I said, today is a big book haul. It's big because it's going to include some books that I've been collecting from December through January. So, and even a little bit into February. So it's a big one. So, the reason that, so as I said, we've got books going back to December. So there's a couple of books here that I got for Christmas. January is also my birthday month, so I got a few books from for my birthday. And then actually, and I didn't separate these out, I also bought books with birthday money. Are they even in my stack? I don't know that they are. They are not. Oops. Oh well. Oh, one of them is. That's okay. So January is also my birthday month. So there are books that I've been given and then books that I've bought with birthday money, which only one of which is in my pile because the others have been already put into a different section of my library because I've been reorganizing my shelves a little bit to put all of my 5-star reads. So I've been slowly trying to acquire physical copies of 5-star reads that I have loved, obviously, because I've given them 5 stars. Books that I've loved, but I bought them for the first time. So perhaps I borrowed them when I read them. I borrowed them from someone or from the library, or I listened to them on audiobook, and I just wanted to get a physical copy because I love the book so much. So 2 of the books that I bought with birthday money are on that part of the shelf, and I forgot to grab them before I started filming. That's okay. One of them is My Sister the Serial Killer, and the other one is Ken Follett, Pillars of the Earth. Pillars of the Earth by Ken Follett. So those are also purchased with my birthday money. The other one I got with my birthday money was this one. It's Sheila by Robert Wainright. I think I've read another biography of his, of an Australian woman called Enid. I think it's the same author. I'll double check that and I will let you know on the screen. And I quite enjoyed that. So I thought I'd give this one a go. She's sort of like an Australian who ended up being like a socialite, and she was, romantically linked to a variety of kind of well-to-do society people, including a future king. So, London, New York, etc., etc. So she sounds really, really interesting. So that's one of the books that I got with my birthday money. So the other things I'm going to show you first up are going to be the ones that I got as gifts. So from my husband, I got a Terry Pratchett called Equal Rights. This was on my wish list. Thank you for looking at my wish list for choosing books. Love it, love it, love it. So that one was from him. He's very keen for me to read the series that involves the witches in Discworld. And this is the first one. So he'd given me, I think it was like the 3rd one, and I've subsequently acquired other ones, but I didn't have the first one. So if I'm going to read the cycle, I want to start with the first one. So I now have it. So hopefully this year I'll be able to get onto that. Then he also got another book for me from my wish list called Waiting for the Storks by Katrina Nannestad. I have read Katrina Nannestad's fabulous series called something like The Girl, the Dog and the Rider in, and there's 3 of them. So the one's in Rome, and then they're in other places as well. But so I loved those. So I've been interested in Katrina Nannestad's writing. So this is a middle grade book. So I'm interested to get to this one as soon as possible. I also, from my wish list, was Legends and Lattes by Travis Baldree. I'm keen to give cozy fantasy a go. And this is the one that everyone talks about. So I was very happy to get a copy of that one. Then from my parents, I got a memoir, I guess you would call it, from Vika and Linda Bull called No Bull. From Church to the Charts, The Long Road to Centre Stage for Australia's Favourite Singing Sisters. So I haven't done it for this one. I will put the, as is now my custom for this year because of my non-fiction challenge, I will put the call number for the Dewey number up on the screen for you for this one. Also, all of the call numbers for non-fiction books will be down in the not in the comments, in the description. So you can always go down there too if this sounds interesting to you and you would like to include it in yours or have a look out for it in your non-fiction reading challenge if you're joining us for that one. So yeah, Vika and Linda are singers, very loved singers here in Australia. They're two sisters. They've been singing for decades together with, you know, some really iconic Australian musicians, and also they had a career together as I was going to say a solo career, but it's not because they were together. So as sisters, they performed individually as well as backing singers for a lot of iconic Australian acts, you know, for decades. So yeah, we love them in my family. So yeah, my parents got me a copy of their biography. And then my brother gave me a copy of Archie 100, A Century of the Archibald Prize, because he knows that I love the Archibald Prize and art in general. Archibald Prize, for those of you who are outside Australia, is a pretty prestigious portrait prize run by the Art Gallery of New South Wales, and that's in Sydney, and I try to go every year. I haven't been able to go because of COVID for the last couple of years, so I'm hoping that this year is the year that I can start going back to that because I've missed it. But yeah, so this is just a book about it was when the prize was 100 years old, which was not that long ago, but it wasn't this year. When was this published? I don't know. 2021. So yeah, 2 years ago now. So the prize was 100 years old then, which is kind of exciting. So those were my birthday and Christmas books. Let's get on then to books that I have purchased for myself, and then brand new, and then I will show you some of the books that I've been able to get a hold of that are from secondhand shopping, because you know I love a secondhand shop for books. It's kind of one of my favorite things to do. So the first one is The Wisteria Society of Lady Scoundrels, Falling in Love Can Be Murder by India Holton. So this just sounded amazing to me. The way it's described is Bridgerton meets Peaky Blinders. So if that sounds up your alley, this one might be for you as well. Look it up. It looks really interesting. I got a copy of a book that I've been eyeing off for some time now called This All Come Back Now, an anthology of First Nations speculative fiction edited by Mykaela Saunders. So this is short stories, and it's a collection of, and they're all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander authors from Australia. So yeah, I'm very interested in this one. I've been eyeing it off for some time, and I finally bit the bullet and bought myself a copy. When I was book shopping in one of my favourite bookshops the other week, I picked up a copy of A Sultry Month by Alethea Hayter, Scenes of London Literary Life in 1846. So this is fiction, but it's based on real people and, you know, a real collection of authors. It's set in 1846. So it says, as London swelters in heatwaves, sunstroke strikes, meat rots, ice is coveted, a glamorous coterie of writers and artists spend their summer whining, dining and opining. So there's Elizabeth Barrett, Robert Browning, we've got Wordsworth, Dickens, Tennyson, the Carlyles, I don't know who those are, a painter called Benjamin Robert Hayden. Yeah, so it's just sort of this like collection of these, you know, artistic kind of people in London, and it's a fictionalized account of how things went down. So that sounded really interesting to me. Then we get on to some non-fiction that I've purchased, and I will let you know the Dewey numbers for these. So 069 is the one for this. It's called Decolonize, Museums by Shimrit Lee. I heard about this book, I can't remember where, but I immediately went out and bought myself a copy because it sounded up my alley. So you know, there's been a lot of discussion in recent years about how you would go about decolonizing museums, because a lot of museums are built on plundered goods from afar, you know, because there was no other way that most people would get to see those kinds of things back in the day. In the modern day, sometimes that doesn't sit so well. So, you know, it's kind of, this is a model that this author has put together of how you would go about decolonizing museums. And I'm interested to know what they have to say about that. Another nonfiction coming in at 616.85 is The Body Keeps the Score, Mind, Brain and Body in the Transformation of Trauma by Bessel van der Kolk. So this one has interested me for some time. It's quite thick. I don't know when I'm going to get to it. But yeah, it's sort of about the effects of trauma on the body and how that kind of stays with you and kind of comes out later. And it's also talking about like the impact of that through the generations as well. So the author, Bessel van der Kolk, is it says here anyway, one of the world's experts on traumatic stress, and he offers a bold new paradigm for treatment, moving away from standard talking and drug therapies and towards an alternative approach that heals mind, brain and body. So that sounds really interesting. And of course, the non-fiction that everybody's talking about right now, coming in at 920, is Spare by Prince Harry. I really need to get to this quickly, because otherwise it's just, why did I pay the amount that I paid for this hardcover book that is clearly going to be very available in the next little while when everybody starts selling off their copies. So given that I purchased this hardback, brand new, I need to get onto it ASAP. So those are my books that I've purchased brand new. I'm going to pop those down. Whoop. Let's keep talking nonfiction, because I've got a stack here of books that I picked up when I was secondhand shopping, and these are all very interesting to me in terms of nonfiction. So this one is 704.0442, and it's called Old Mistresses, Women, Art and Ideology by Rosika Parker and Griselda Pollock. So this is all about how women were erased as artists from art history. So, you know, so many of our kind of like old masters that we know, they're all just men. And it's not like women weren't painting. So this is kind of trying to, you know, let us know about, you know, some women in art history and what happened, like how they became erased as they were. Another non-fiction book that I've picked up is Big Magic, Creative Living Beyond Fear by Elizabeth Gilbert, who is the author of Eat, Pray, Love, among other things. This one comes in at 153.3, and this is all about, it's kind of a self-help book, I guess, but it's all about, you know, bringing creativity into your life. This one just sounded really interesting to me. Well, this has a long call number, 305.409747. It's called The Barbizon, the New York Hotel That Set Women Free by Paulina Bren. And I'm super interested in The Barbizon and, you know, learning a lot more about, you know, its history and, you know, how it kind of was a revolutionary place. Another nonfiction that I've picked up, also in the sort of self-help category, I guess, 155.2, is The Four Tendencies by Gretchen Rubin, the indispensable personality profiles that reveal how to make your life better and other people's lives better too. That sounds great, doesn't it? Okay, so this is a book that has been, I bought it secondhand, and somebody has contact covered it, but they've covered it with the sticker still on. What kind of monster does that? That's just bizarre to me. Like, you're going to the trouble of covering the book. Take off the sticker. Like, weird. Anyway. Weird. I didn't notice that till I got it home, and I was very annoyed. The last nonfiction book that I've got here coming in at 305.48 is Ain't I a Woman Black Women and Feminism by Bell Hooks. This is something I've been keeping an eye out for some time, and I managed to get a copy from someone from Facebook Marketplace, so very exciting. All right, then let's move on to the fiction that I picked up secondhand. Quite a lot of books. I told you, it's a big one today. So we've got The Birth of Venus by Sarah Dunant. This is a book that has been on my TBR for so long, and I finally found a copy of it secondhand, so I'm very pleased about that. This is set in the time of the Medicis, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, potentially. Anyway, so very interested to get to that one, given that it's been on my TBR for so long. This is one that I picked up just yesterday when I was secondhand shopping. It was Mothering Sunday by Graham Swift. This is one that lots of people have been talking about and loving, so I'm very excited to get to this. It's so short. I didn't realize it was such a short book. So let me see how many pages it is. 132, so that should take no time at all to read. So yeah, very interested to get to that one, especially given it's so short. So it'll be good, like, as a, you know, if I'm in a bit of a slump with bigger books and need a break, I'll perhaps gravitate towards that one if it doesn't get lost in my collection. All right. An author that I loved reading her book Matrix last year is Lauren Groff, and I picked up a copy of Florida by her. So because I loved her other books so much, I thought I'd give this one a go. Then I managed to find a copy of Women and Salt by Gabriela Garcia. So that is also another one that lots of people have been talking about, that has been on my interest list. So when I saw a copy, I grabbed it. Oh, this one I ummed and ahed about because it's so thick. Look at that. It's To Paradise by Hanya Yanagihara. I don't think I'm interested in reading A Little Life. I haven't read it, and from some of the things that I've heard, I don't think it's for me. And I wasn't going to pick this up, and then I read the back and I was like, okay, that does actually sound really good. So from what I can tell from other people, what other people have said, is that Hanya Yanagihara is a very good writer, but the other book, A Little Life, sort of is a bit of trauma porn, is what I've heard, and that doesn't interest me. This one sounds better, so I'll see. I don't, because it's so thick, I don't know if I'm going to gravitate to it. So this might be one that I kind of hold on to for a little bit, and then if I don't find myself wanting to pick it up, then perhaps I might let this one go. But it was like $5, so I was like, oh, okay, I gotta get it. It's in really good condition as well. This one I was very excited to find. This is Maggie O'Farrell's The Marriage Portrait, which only just came out this year, I want to say, like 2022. Yeah, 2020. Sorry, that's not this year, that's last year. It only just came out last year, so I was so excited to find a secondhand copy of this, also in fabulous condition. This one I am very keen for, so I will probably try and get to this one this year, I think. I imagine. And the last book that I found a secondhand copy of that sounded really interesting to me is The Tolstoy Estate by Stephen Conti. Okay, yep. Anyway, this seemed like a really interesting premise when I was looking at it. So basically, it says, during the doomed German invasion of Russia in World War II, Paul Bauer, a German military doctor, is assigned to establish a field hospital at Yasnaya Polyana, the former grand estate of Count Leo Tolstoy, the author of War and Peace. There he encounters a hostile aristocratic Russian writer, Katerina Trubetskaya, who has been left in charge of the estate. But even as a tentative friendship develops between them, Bauer's arrogant commanding officer, Julius Metz, becomes erratic and unhinged as the war turns against the Germans. Over the course of 6 weeks, in the terrible winter of 1941, everything starts to unravel. It just sounded like a really interesting premise for a story, and, you know, sounded like it would be good fun. So, not good fun. Why did I say that? Not good fun. Sounded like an interesting read is what I want to say. All right, I have so many books that there's no way I could hold them up to show them to you, but that was my book haul, and I'm so glad I finally filmed this so that I can now start putting those books where they need to go on my bookshelves, so that I can hopefully get to these books, as well as there's so many books, so many books on my bookshelf that I need to get to. I really need to start being a bit more careful about what I'm buying, but I just love secondhand book shopping. It brings me so much joy. So you know what, we're not going to apologize for it. I love it, so it makes me happy. What are you gonna do? All right guys, thanks so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and I will see you on the next one. Bye.